and welcome to the latest episode of the Northern Ireland Women's Football Show. It's been a while since I've been sitting on this chair, and since I have been, we've completed the NIWFA and NIFL seasons, and congratulations to all the winners. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Heather Mearns and Sarah Crooks. Thank you both for joining me today.
No worries.
Sarah, we'll start with that recent trip in the World Cup for the futsal team. I'm sure that was quite an experience.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We all really enjoyed ourselves. Obviously a massive learning curve took place on the trip, and we had some ups and downs, but no, it was really enjoyable.
And plenty of learning curves to bring back now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, we've kind of got back as a group over messages and decided what's the best foot to put forward for next upcoming games and tournaments.
And what was it like as a team, as an experience over at that World Cup?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was obviously ridiculously professional. UEFA officials there, there's anti-doping officials. It was so well ran, and you were properly treated like professionals, so it was really good for everybody.
Hard for everybody to understand the Belfast Northern Ireland accent.
Yes, it was. Quite a few points. They were like, "Where are you from?" And we were like, "Oh, we're from Northern Ireland." Hadn't a clue our accent, but no, everyone was really friendly. The other teams as well. We got mucked right in, and it was a really good experience.
And Heather, it's been a really successful time for you as well with all the Crusaders underage squads.
Yeah, I think our under-19 league actually run on longer than the Women's Premier League. There was so many youth international games, so there was a lot of backlog of fixtures. So I think it was maybe 2.5 weeks ago. We obviously then finished our last couple of games and won the league. So it was really good because the girls have been together a long time, and they've kind of came through all the age groups together. So it was nice to kind of reach that pinnacle, I suppose, which is the next level, I suppose, before you go into the Premier League.
And it looked like some celebrations. I saw the photographs after.
Yep, well, the kids know how to celebrate. The parents know how to celebrate. I think they obviously got some of the non-alcoholic, of course, champagne and stuff for them, and all the flags, so they all enjoyed their night.
You said that they've kind of played together since they were kids. I'm sure that means a lot for the parents as well. They must have grown up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wee core group of girls. I suppose that age group I've had for the last 10 years. Obviously, they haven't all been there 10 years, but we've sort of added to it as we've went along. So there's a wee core group of girls that have played there 6, 7, 8 years together. So obviously there's been ones that came in after, because you're going through 7-a-side, 9-a-side, 11-a-side, but they've played in the boys' league together for at least the last 3 years. So it was really good then for them to win the league together.
Is it going to be hard watching them move up into the other teams?
Well, 7 of them made their first team debut this year. So some of them are only 15, some are 16. So much potential. Hopefully they'll build on that then next year. We've always been a club that bring our own players through. We don't really it's not that we don't like the sign, but we prefer to stay loyal to the kids that have been loyal to us. So hopefully next year there's going to be some big things for them.
And there's been plenty of younger players who have broken into that first team squad and made appearances.
Yeah, 7 this year, 7 last year, and then I think out of our whole squad, I looked this up the other day, was it 16? 16 of our first team squad are all ex-academy players. So when you see the likes of Rachel McLaren and Maddie, who were part of the Northern Ireland squad, they came through our academy and stuff as well. So definitely, there's loads of opportunities for girls at Crusaders.
Some very impressive stats. And speaking of impressive stats, back home you play for Bangor, and I heard that you played the most minutes for Bangor this year.
Yes, I did. Felt every one of them as well, to be honest. It was a good season again. We had a really good start with Bangor, and then it's tough with the summer season because you miss a lot of players and crucial games, and we got to a semi-final of the cup and stuff, and we couldn't get the win. Went to penalties. Actually, we lost in penalties, which is gutting. But I really enjoy playing for Bangor. It's a great wee setup.
And the championship is hard as ever.
Well, the championship, I think, has just got more and more competitive as the years have gone on. That's probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years I've played in it now. Obviously I had 1 year in the Premier League with a separate team. And then the championship now, it's just so much more competitive. There's a lot more teams that are, the scores aren't mad anymore a lot of the times. They're really, really tight matches, and obviously then you've got the likes of Ballymoney and Green Island that are coming up from Division 1 into the Championship, and we played against Green Island in the semi-final, and they're really competitive games, so it's great to see because for so long there's been such a big gap, especially from Premier League to Championship, Championship to Division 1, etc., but now it's getting closer and closer, which is great.
You touched on it there, you've already experienced playing Green Island. We'll not talk about what happened in that game, but like two huge teams that are going to come up and make this championship even stronger.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what's needed for women's football in Northern Ireland. Like, I think the more competitive it gets, the more attraction it gets. And yeah, no, it's great to see.
And Bangor were in that crowd that were trying to push for promotion. Does that make it even more this season that you want to push on and maybe hopefully get it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we've got quite a lot of players. There's young players coming through that will want to keep with the squad and build with the squad. There's a wee girl, especially Emmy, who has, you know her?
She used to play for me.
Oh, did she? Yeah, she's a great wee player. She's just come through this year and it's just taken off. Like, fantastic, wee skillful player. She actually came down to the futsal training for a wee while as well. But we're wanting to stay together as a squad and kind of build. And our coach, Chris Dugan, really works hard at that, getting the girls prepared to kind of push on. And it's more about the now. It's not always about, oh, like, let's get straight into the Premier League. No, let's focus on building our squad and, you know, doing a good job in the championship first, winning trophies and cups and stuff, and then progressing on further in the future.
And as you said, those younger players are key to that, key to any success really.
Yeah, no, 100%. You need the younger players because we've got a few that are older in the squad and like they're not going to be around forever. So we need to have players coming through that are going to take their places, and it also makes it a lot more competitive. And then a lot of the girls want to, you know, be at training. They want to push themselves as hard as possible to get onto the squad.
And Heather, I'm sure you would echo that those younger girls are really pushing those seniors.
Yeah, I think the good thing now about a lot of the younger players come through, not just the Crusaders or any of the other Premier League clubs, have had really good coaching from a young age. I think I'm obviously older than you, but when we were young there wasn't very good coaching. So I think when the kids are starting to break through, their football IQ is a lot better and you know, they understand the game a lot more, so they're able to impact the game, where then they're actually able to push for positions a lot younger.
You mentioned there that the coaching's got a lot better. What else do you think has improved for those younger kids?
Oh, there's so much. You know, I'm coaching in the IFA programs as well, and some of the girls we have in our national performance program are out basically every day between one-to-ones, different like academies like Dammy Vance's. They're just flat out all the time at football. And don't get me wrong, we played all the time in the street, but it wasn't structured, and they get a lot of structured coaching now. In particular, we've just brought in 2013s into the IFA National Performance Programme, and they're really, really good. So the level of footballers coming through in the next sort of 6, 7, 8 years are brilliant. Like,
it's certainly an exciting time to be from here and seeing the football grow. We're going to take a short break here in the studio, and a team that did very well last season are Cliftonville. So we're going to hear from some of them as they look back on what was an impressive season.
2024. A year to remember for Cliftonville Ladies as they made history in the NIFL Women's Premiership. The Reds did not just compete, they dominated, eventually ending the season unbeaten across all 16 league games, and in doing so cementing their place as the best team in Northern Ireland. With a perfect record of 48 points, they proved unbeatable, showing resilience, skill and unity on every inch of the pitch. But it wasn't just the wins, it was the way they played, fast, fearless and full of flair, dominating the league with style. And when the final whistle blew to signal the end of the 2024 season, Cliftonville Ladies were crowned champions, finishing 8 points clear of second place, an achievement that will be remembered for years to come.
I don't think it's ever happened before, 16 out of 16 games, so it just shows how good we are and how good of players in a team and a group of staff that we'll have as well.
You know what, it's credit to the hard work of so many people. Our management team came in 4 years ago, set the standards, and you know they brought in unbelievable players into the team, and you know we've had the buy-in of the club, and you know everyone surrounding it, the fans, the players, the management team, everyone around the club have just been so supported.
Lose to the Glens in the cup, so obviously something that we went back and worked on, and I thought we finished the second half of the season even stronger after that loss, so it shows great character throughout the whole team.
So, could this be the start of a period of domination in local women's football for Cliftonville Ladies? Time will tell, but for now there can be no doubt that for Cliftonville the future is bright, and the Reds are indeed ready to rise even higher.
Thank you, Colin, for that, and congratulations once again to Cliftonville on what was a great season for them. Heather, we were talking about futsal. You were part of that original futsal gang. What's it like looking at them playing now?
Yeah, it's good, still going. Obviously, the leagues are a wee bit more structured here, so girls are getting an opportunity to go as futsalers, I suppose, rather than just footballers, where I think I remember the first trials, there was loads of girls went, but you only ever played football before. Well, you played futsal as a mess about, but I don't even think you played the proper rules. I think, was it 2018 or 2019 was the first Euros here in Uri. Yeah, it was good. It was good. But it's good to see it's still going, and now there's a World Cup and stuff, and there's more opportunities for them. So,
and how did
fair
you
play, the Keith and stuff.
How did you first get involved yourself?
I love futsal. Definitely prefer it because it's smaller sided and you have to run less. But
that's a arguable point, to be fair.
Well,
that, so.
Okay. Smaller distances at a time.
Yeah.
So obviously you still have to run quite a bit. Well, I played back pivot, so you didn't have to run as much as some people. But I just always really enjoyed playing futsal or even indoor football. Yeah, I know it's not the same thing, but yeah.
For those that maybe don't know, back pivot and all this stuff would be double dutch to them. So explain to me, give me some of the positions, and you can give me the other ones as well.
Well, it depends, I suppose, what you're playing, but we always played a diamond. I assume you still do, yeah. So back pivot is essentially your first responsibility is defending. I mean, there's a lot of rotation and stuff goes on, but that's your first responsibility, I suppose, defender.
And then where do you play?
I play the same, back fix, yeah. And then you've got wingers, and then you've got the front pivot, which is like the striker, basically. So
It must be quite hard. How do you mix between playing outdoor football and then switching futsal?
It is actually quite hard, the transition, I think, because it is quite different. Futsal's all tactics. So, I mean, you can have a team that, you know, are really, really talented, but they aren't set up properly. So we came up against Belgium, who are big beasts, and we played against them 3 times, played twice in Belgium and twice over here, and they were better players. They were futsal players, like we play football, so as Heather says, you know, we just came off the back of our season, then we went to play them, and then we kind of regrouped as a team and went through different set plays and, you know, really focused on matching their tactics, and we outplayed them. You know, it's kind of like a game of chess. If one person's movement's off, the whole thing falls apart. So it is very different to normal football.
Sort of.
Yeah. No?
No, it can't. I suppose it depends how you're being asked to play in football too.
That's
There's a lot of rotation.
You're too old for that.
There's a lot of rotation and stuff if you are playing for a good team, I suppose, in football as well. But I always found that a lot of people.
Anyway, 5th place.
No, you're right. Not the 19th, so. I always found it was more the technical side, where in football you might be playing into somebody's run, where everything's kind of defeat all the time. In futsal, otherwise it's not going to stick, you know, it's going to weigh on you. And I think
surface,
that was the bit you could always notice a footballer playing futsal over a futsal player, because it was just different, a couple of wee technical things.
And like from a coaching point of view, is that something you'd like to pursue, maybe the futsal side of it too?
Not as structured as that. We do aim at it in our curriculum at Crusaders for the younger girls through the winter. Again, maybe not the technical sides with the sole rule and stuff, but more just about playing in a tighter space, making decisions quicker and things like that, and the rotations and stuff like that there, because obviously they're all transferable to football. But if you just spent a load of time working on receiving in the back foot and then you're asking them to use the bottom of their foot, doesn't really work. But I would like to add it to our curriculum at Crusaders, but not in terms of coaching a team.
I'm sure you find it is helpful for those girls though, because as you said, there's so many skills that transfer over.
Yeah, Manchester United have it in their boys' curriculum for their younger age group, so if it's good enough for them, we'll do it.
Good enough for the Cruise.
Well, of all teams, United, come on, or
I don't support United, I support Chelsea.
I do.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
The best thing to be doing. Following United's footsteps.
Don't follow their footsteps. Can't speak as a Villa fan after last night, but
oh my goodness, that's Villa.
I couldn't even tell you any men's scores. I don't watch men's football.
Just women's.
Watch Cruise, but just the women's.
It ticks now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're hoping that there's plenty more growth in the futsal over here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've noticed a big change. This year actually past, I went to a wee GB event that was ran, and they had loads of different GBs from around Northern Ireland all playing a futsal tournament. So it was great, you know, for kids to have that exposure. And as well, actually, the school that I work in, Keith sorted me out, Keith Gibson, our coach, sorted me out with the IFA as part of a shared education programme to have a futsal session, 2 futsal sessions with the neighbouring school. So again, the kids, you know, locally who have never heard of futsal before are then getting the opportunity to play it. So there's definitely more exposure, and as you say, the league's a lot more structured now and stuff.
I think even the local schools have competition and stuff every year in the futsal. I know a lot of girls always enjoy that when it comes around, and it's good because when they're playing football as a school, they've maybe 6-7 players that actually play, where at least then when you go and play futsal, their whole team kind of plays at least football, so it's quite competitive, so it's good.
And whenever you were doing it at your school, you're a P6 teacher obviously, were they not trying to get you to play as well, because I know you play?
Oh, I join in, to be fair. I would join in, but no, you try, I'm a wee bit over competitive, so I'd be flying into tackles where maybe that's not very professional. So yeah, no, the kids absolutely love it, and as Heather says, you do, like some of the overriding schools programme for football does sometimes have futsal tournaments as well, so it gives the kids extra opportunity to learn.
And then from outside football, you'll be recruiting them for Bangor?
Yeah, always texting, always asking if people are you happy at that club, you know, and you're not getting much game time and all. No, always on the lookout.
And I
didn't hear that. Like, that's definitely not in the rules. Like.
I'm not a coach, I can do it.
Very well.
Well.
No, your coach will be telling you after you sagging off for age.
Yep.
As somebody who did play, now you've obviously moved to completely coaching. How hard was that transition? Do you still want to get on that pitch?
Yeah, it's difficult. Like, I think.
Is that you completely retired now?
Yeah. So last year, the under-19 league, stupidly, no offence, Niffle, they played the under-19 games on the same night as the women's first team. So I had to make a decision whether I wanted to still play and let someone else coach the girls. Obviously, I brought the whole way up. So it was a no-brainer, like, because obviously I'm 38 now, so I was 37 last year. So, I mean, it's not like I was a key player. So
look at Ronaldo, Heather. coming 40, you know.
Yeah, so it was a no-brainer, so I had to pack it in last year. I mean, I think I played a couple of cup games last year, but this year I didn't play at all.
Do you think that would affect even the crowds that would be going? You know, if maybe it wasn't the same night, more would go to the under-19?
Yeah, last year a lot of our under-19 team who live locally would go and watch the first team. So last year they weren't getting to go and watch. One of the kids who actually made the jump last year to the first team, and she was a regular starter. For me, that was annoying because she was one of the ones I have had for probably 9-10 years. I didn't get to really watch her in her first season because it clashed.
And Crusaders, not their best season, probably many would say, and lots to build on coming next year.
Yeah, I mean, we started pre-season really well. All the girls were flying in pre-season. A couple of good results in the Cup and the All-Ireland Cup. But then I just think we got a few injuries, and then the confidence was low, and, you know, winning's a habit. So if you're not winning, it's also a habit. And I think it took us a wee while to kind of come out of that, but towards the end of the season we picked up the pace again and finished pretty well, I suppose, in terms of where we were earlier in the season.
And lots of shock results, lots of people beating everybody.
Yeah, but that's what you want. You don't want a top team that's going to run away with it. Well, I mean, Cliftonville did run away with it this year, but they didn't win it last year. You know, you want it to be someone different every year, unless it's Crusaders, obviously. But yeah, I mean, to make our national team more competitive and get more girls across the water, the Premier League needs to be competitive, where it's not you're playing a team, you're going to duff them 10-0, and then the next week you're going to duff them 8-0, and then you're preparing for 2 games a season. It needs to be competitive right across the board, so players, you know, are getting good matches to push them on.
And speaking of that national team, we're going to take another break here in the studio, and Northern Ireland have key games coming up, and we're going to look ahead to them. Over to you, Colin.
After a hard-fought 2-legged win over Croatia, a tie that was eventually settled by that superb extra-time strike from Lauren Wade, Northern Ireland women will face a challenging test on Friday the 29th of November as they welcome Norway to Indra Park, Larne for their latest UEFA Women's Euro 2025 qualifiers. Norway, ranked amongst the top teams in Europe, enter the game as clear favourites, but they've shown vulnerabilities in recent years. With a squad, however, filled with top-class talent, including the likes of Ada Hegerberg, Caroline Graham-Hansen and Guro Reiten, they are a formidable force capable of breaking down even the toughest defences. Norway enter the match as one of the most successful nations in women's football, with a proud history that includes 2 Women's Euro titles, a World Cup win and Olympic gold medal. Norway is a powerhouse in the women's game. Since their Euro triumphs, they have qualified for every Euro and World Cup final tournament, and they are widely regarded as one of the top teams in Europe. In their most recent meeting, Norway comfortably defeated Northern Ireland 4-1 at the UEFA Women's Euros 2022, having also won both their qualifying matches against Northern Ireland with 6-0 scorelines. Overall, the two sides have met 7 times, with Norway emerging victorious in 6 of those encounters and Northern Ireland's sole victory coming back in 2012. Norway will go into this match as clear favourites, however, Northern Ireland have always shown they are capable of surprises, especially in front of a passionate home crowd. The team, however, will need to be at their best both defensively and offensively if they are to have any hope of stifling Norway's attacking prowess and making an impact on the game. Northern Ireland will doubtless look to exploit any weaknesses and capitalise on their home advantage, and there's no doubt the tactical battle will be key, with Northern Ireland needing to stay disciplined at the back and find opportunities to counter-attack as and when required. Your support on the night could be vital, so make sure you get along to the game and play your part in the Green White Army by supporting the girls on the night.
Thank you, Colin, for that, and the best of luck to Northern Ireland for those huge games. You were saying that you were at those Northern Ireland games recently. What did you think of them?
Yes, I was at the game against Croatia. The girls did really well. I thought it was quite an entertaining game. Obviously, they couldn't score in the 90 minutes. They had a few chances. I think the possession was mad. I'd love to know the stats. Do you know what they were? No. I'd love to know. They just had the ball the entire game. And then obviously Lauren Wade got the winner there. So no, it was a really good game. Yeah, it's great to see them progress so much from when I was younger watching them.
And that strike was definitely worth the wait, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. She can hit a ball, certainly, Lauren.
And you said you've seen a big growth in it since when you were growing up. What kind of changes have you seen?
Look, I just remember going when I was younger and everything about it. There was barely any crowds. The other night, the presenter said on the speaker 3,900, I think, were at the game. You know, there was never any numbers like that. So it's great to see so many people out supporting it. You know, actually what I like seeing is middle-aged men coming with their Northern Ireland gear on and, you know, supporting the crowd and cheering on, and that's great to see. You know, there's not so much a stigma around it anymore, and, you know, it's only wee girls that's supporting it. Oh, dear help them, you know, women's football. Loads of people are getting behind it, so that's a massive change for me, definitely.
And Heather, I'm sure you've seen many changes as well.
Is that you going back to my age, is it?
No, I know nothing.
She's digging you.
Yeah, when was it? I could be wrong with the dates. Was it 2004, the women's team started back up after a while off. Don't quote me on that, it could be. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but there's been loads of changes. I remember having to travel down to Portadown and places like that, and there was a couple of hundred max watching the girls maybe get thumped against Switzerland or whatever, but it's like anything. The more money you put into it, the more time you spend on it, then the structures get better. You know, it's going to result in the players getting better on the pitch, so it's good.
And hopefully some of your girls will be playing that Northern Ireland squad soon.
Yeah, quite a few of them are under 17 internationals. A couple of the girls in the first team too are also under 19 internationals. Obviously playing underage is, you know, way off playing senior, but hopefully they can keep progressing and they have that wee bit of desire about them that they want to get to that level. At the minute they do, but obviously being 16 and being 26, it's a long way off. I would really like to see them maybe have a under 23 team. I know England and stuff have that. I think it'll help bridge that gap where you have under 19s who, you know, are really good at under 19 level, but they're not ready for seniors, so that we have something in between so they don't fall off the radar, maybe never make it. So hopefully that's something maybe the IFL look at in the future to help them progressing.
You saying you could be coaching them as well?
No, you're right. I'm in with the under 15s at the minute in the international programme. I think now this is maybe my fourth group of kids coming up, so there really are some really brilliant players coming through, but it's just keeping them progressing, because it seems to be that, you know, at 17 a lot of them can compete really well with other countries, but there's maybe a wee bit of a drop off after that, and it might be to do with the competitiveness of the leagues or the professionalism of the league. I'm not quite sure, but we just need something to help bridge that gap and keep pushing on those girls that have the potential to go on to play senior international.
I think it's a big topic here and also down south about getting that extra age group in. I'm sure you agree that it'd be helpful for another age group.
Yeah, no, definitely. It would just give a lot more opportunities for progression and, you know, to build upon the senior level, really. Yeah, as you say.
That game coming up is obviously at Inver Park. Probably no distance for you because you're used to travelling to Newry, but are you going to that game?
I might make the journey up, yeah, find out when it is. 25th, did you say? Yeah.
Whatever the Friday is that week, I think
Yeah.
it's 25th.
Yeah, make the journey up. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a good game. The last one was a great wee game, and hopefully they get a good crowd in as well.
Really tough opponent though.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a tough game, but you know, the girls are well drilled from what you can see, and they've got a good squad as well to build from, and they've got other girls to come in as well, that they can pick from. So it'll be interesting to see the result.
And with such a big crowd at Windsor, hopefully maybe because Inver's slightly smaller, if the same crowd comes, it'll be a really full stadium.
Yeah, well, I do think that. I sometimes think it's maybe a better idea to have it at a smaller stadium, so it seems like there's a lot more at it, because 4,000 would pack out the likes of Inver. So, yeah, no, it'd be great to have there and a bit more of an atmosphere and stuff.
I hear you're missing that game, but there's a certain Chelsea player you might like who plays for the opposition.
Yeah, so it's my mum's retirement dinner or whatever, so kind of have to go to that. But yeah, my favourite Chelsea player plays for Norway. Can't say her name, so I'm not going to try to, girl. But it makes sense playing at Inver. It always made sense playing games at Seaview, not even because of the crowds, but if you're playing a better team, it's better to be on a tighter pitch. I feel like National Stadium against Norway, who are quality, you know, if the girls switch off, the gaps could be too big. So at least maybe on a tighter stadium, then they could be better organised defensively. Maybe keep them at bay, because it's going to be a lot, you know, a different game than the Croatia game. We have got a lot better in possession, but obviously Norway probably have quite a bit of the ball. So.
Yeah, Norway will certainly be with us. But would you like to see a return to the likes of Seaview? I know Mearns as well. Do you think that's better for Northern Ireland?
Not Mearns, Seaview, yeah. Home of women's football. Yeah. I think, to be fair, Inver is a really good stadium. I always enjoy playing there. Well, not that I've played there in a while, but I think having it in Belfast is just more central. Like, you know, whether people are coming up from Portadown or people are coming down from Ballymena, Belfast just makes sense. It doesn't make sense to have it anywhere else, in my opinion, anyway. So if it's not going to be at the National Stadium, then a smaller ground like Seaview is perfect.
And there have been plenty of fun nights at Seaview and plenty of huge results at Seaview.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, isn't all the good memories are there. So I think the players enjoy playing there too, which I suppose is the most crucial thing. You always play better on a pitch that you enjoy playing on. And you know, when you've had good games or good results, you always go in with that wee bit of confidence. You're like, last time we played here, we did this. You've got that wee bit of a buzz. So I definitely think that could add to it. Like.
But thank you both for joining me today. I've really enjoyed having you in the studio. That's everything for this episode of the Northern Ireland Women's Football Show. Thanks as ever for watching, but for now, it's goodbye from me.